Welcome to NKTelco Sports. Tonight, we come to you from New Bremen High School as the Fort Loramie Redskins make the 17-minute trip to take on the New Bremen Cardinals. Tonight's game is sponsored by Minster Bank, Schwederman Pharmacy, Keyhole Pizza, New Knoxville Supply, Minster Dental, Hometown Opportunity, Francis Furniture, Wilson Health, Precision Strip, Winners Meats, NKTelco, NKT.TV, BowlerStore.com, Wagner's IGA, Cargill, Grand Lake Health, Clopay Building Products, Moran's Refrigeration, and First National Bank. Welcome everybody inside the nest for boys high school basketball. Eli Alvarez and Greg Burning here with you. And Greg, we're early into the season. We're not sure what to expect out of these two teams, but we do know they both have at least one win under their belt.
That's right. The visitors coming in, Fort Loramie Redskins, as you said, 1 win, 1 loss. They beat a Houston team earlier in the week, 47-40, and then lose actually last night to Jackson Center, 40-34. They're just kind of getting their feet wet a little bit here. They had a long football run, so getting a lot of those guys back. Eli Rosengarten has started off real well for the Redskins, had 16 points in the first game and then 20 last night against Jackson Center. Yeah,
it's the Fort Loramie squad, Greg, that coming off a 25-3 season from a year ago where they fell to Marion Local in the regional finals. And head coach Corey Britton in his 5th season as the head coach, a 90-63 overall record. He's been pretty impressive.
Yeah, he has. On the other side of the court, the home team, the New Bremen Cardinals, 2-1, new coach, first-year coach Brad Francis. The Cardinals started off their season very solid here at the Nest, winning in overtime over Kalida. Then they lost to a very solid Salina team, 60-41. Really got behind early in that game. I believe it was 19-4 at the end of the first quarter. Never really had a chance to recover. And then they played last night as well and handily defeated New Knoxville 57-30. So things heading in the right direction, it would seem, for first-year coach Brad Francis. Will be a good challenge here tonight.
It's been a triple header of basketball tonight. The freshman game was played before the JV game, and now we're on to the varsity. We'll take a break and come back with the starters and our keys to the game. You're watching NKTelco Sports.
For over 150 years, Cargill has been helping people be successful worldwide. Cargill has always done business responsibly and in a way that makes us proud. Whether it is educating farmers in India or providing bikes to students with perfect attendance right here at home, Cargill is helping people thrive. The Sydney plant is just one piece of a global company that provides employment for hundreds of thousands, food for the world, and support for thousands of businesses. Be a part of something great at cargill.com.
The big game is right around the corner. Are you ready for it? Come into Francis Furniture and find the right fit for you and your friends in our Lazy Boy Comfort Studio. With Lazy Boy Premier Sofa and Sectionals, you can custom order a look that's just your style. Choose from hundreds of decorator fabrics or choose genuine leather for its luxurious feel and durability. Come into Francis Furniture today, the area's only Lazy Boy Comfort Studio.
At Wilson Health, we're extending care beyond the walls of the hospital, with resources designed to keep you in charge of your health.
Our independence and connection to the community are unique in a world where big healthcare strives to act like corporations.
Our tools may be the same, but we are different.
We're neighbors, friends, and family who truly care about the people who live here.
We call it caring without limits, and it's just the beginning of a whole new Wilson Health.
Back here at the Nest in New Bremen, let's go ahead and give you the starting lineups for tonight's contest between the Cardinals and the Fort Loramie Redskins, starting first with the visitors from Fort Loramie. They start with a junior guard standing 6'2", averaging 7.5 points per game, Nick Brandewie. Jake Ratterman gets the start for Coach Corey Britton, wearing number 21. He was first-team All-Shelby County Athletic League and cross country this fall. Eli Rosengarten, the leading scorer for the Redskins, gets the start. He's a senior, staying at 6'1". Mason Kemper is the other forward. He's a senior wearing number 40. He's got 5 points to his name this year. And rounding out the starting 5 for the Redskins, the senior Mitchell Burning, staying at 6'3". Looking at the home team in the New Bremen Cardinals, 2-1 overall on the season. Head coach Brad Francis, his starting lineup looks like this. A sophomore wearing number 14, Mitchell Hayes, averages 6.7 points per game. Alongside him, a junior staying at 6'4", wearing number 20, Patrick Wells. Bryce Blickles, a 6'2 senior wearing number 22. He averages 6 points per contest. He'll get the start alongside the junior Nolan Bornhorst wearing number 34. And rounding out the starting lineup for head coach Brad Francis is the 6'3 senior Brandon Heitkamp wearing number 44. And now it's time for our keys to the game, brought to you by Keyhole Pizza.
So first keys for the Fort Loramie Redskins. Coming off of their football season, getting back into basketball mode has been a little bit of a challenge so far for Fort Loramie. Only put up 34 points last night, so getting a quick start for them will be important. And then scoring. As I mentioned in the pregame, Eli Rosengarten has had a nice start for Fort Loramie, but outside of Eli, they've really struggled. He had 20 points alone last night. They only scored 34 total, so getting points up on the board will be big for the Redskins. On the other side, the home team, the New Bremen Cardinals, limiting turnovers. They've got kind of a point guard by committee, and a lot of teams have been pressing Bremen, so getting control of those turnovers and getting in their offense early will be important. And then controlling the paint. They've got a nice presence inside defensively and offensively with Heitkamp and the other centers for New Bremen, and for them to get the rebound and really handle a paint side will be important for them as this ball game as we are underway.
And it's the Fort Loramie Redskins to go to work first offensively with their leading scorer, Eli Rosengarten, averaging 19 points a contest. Rosengarten, also a first-team All-Shelby counter athlete in golf for the Redskins, showing his abilities on the basketball court as this is stolen away by Mitchell Hayes. Hayes quick the other way, that's Brandon Heitkamp, but the ball goes out of bounds and it will stay with the Cardinals.
Yeah, and a break there for New Bremen as they get the turnover. Heitkamp loses the handle as he's going out of bounds, and it'll stay with New Bremen as Fort Loramie commits their first turnover.
The first-team All-MAC performer from a year ago, Nolan Bornhorst, to inbound for New Bremen. Into the hands of Hayes, and we'll see Coach France's offense set up for the first time tonight.
Both these teams come out heavy man-to-man. You'll see a lot of that tonight. I think both will switch up. I would be surprised if Fort Loramie doesn't drop into a half-court press and or a full court at some point in this game.
Lickle shot denied by Nick Brandewie as the ball heads out of bounds, and they're going to say it's going to stay with the Cards again.
Yeah, I'm not sure who got that block. I want to say it was Kemper, but I'm not 100% sure. Whoever it was for Fort Loramie got off their feet in a hurry.
I believe it was the junior Nick Brandewie.
Thank you. Definitely very athletic.
3-ball in the corner for Bornhorst, off the mark. Rebound down to the junior. Brandewie will bring it up the floor for the Redskins. As they swing it around to the leading scorer, Rosengarten. Kemper to Ratterman. A couple injuries for the Fort Loramie Redskins. Some of their best players, Carter Mesher and Nathan Ratterman, haven't played yet this season. They're making do. Shot down low off the glass, too strong for Mason Kemper, and we've got a foul going against Fort Loramie.
Yeah, good look there for Fort Loramie. I think if your coach, lost the name there, Britton, you're pretty happy. That was a pretty good look, very patient, got the ball inside. That was one of the things we kind of talked about too. Loramie tends to really rely on their outside offense. So to see them get the ball in the paint a little bit early on here, good sign for them.
On the other side, head coach Brad Francis talked about being in his first season, replaces head coach Adam Doherty. And Francis was the head coach at Houston for a season before being an assistant last year under Eric Rosenbeck at St. Henry, as this shot is off the mark and out of bounds. Will go back to Fort Loramie.
Yeah, didn't take too long for Loramie to get into some sort of pressure defense. 2 possessions, as I mentioned. So, again, not a surprise. A lot of things Loramie, they like to switch it up a little bit, apply multiple different defenses. And I'm sure you'll see more of that as this ball game goes on.
And so far, about 2 minutes into the game, we're scoreless, looking for first points. And it's good by Nick Brandewie for 3. On the other end, a turnover, ball free on the deck. It's Brandewie and Bornhorst fighting for it, and they're going to call a jump ball. Possession arrow will keep it with New Bremen.
Yeah, and again, the pressure coming there from Fort Loramie really had a turnover there basically and kind of gave it back to New Bremen. New Bremen really struggling here early on to get set up in their half court.
Bornhorst averaging about 9 points per contest, had a hot start to the season, was held to 4 points in their win against New Knoxville last night. Finds its way to the senior Blickel. Into the corner, 3-ball on its way, off the mark, too strong for Patrick Wells. Offensive rebound, put back good for the senior Blickel.
Nice putback there from Blickel. Gets the New Bremen Cardinals on the scoreboard.
Loramie with Ratterman. Back to Brandewie. Thought about that three for a moment. Will bring it down. He's going to be fouled by the senior Heitkamp.
First foul on Brandon Heitkamp. First New Bremen foul.
Greg, we talked about these two teams with a different look than last year. Last year was a 67-31 win for the Redskins at Fort Loramie. We expect this one to be a lot closer.
Yeah, I think both these teams obviously lost a good chunk of their offense, but pretty evenly matched. And I think the biggest difference is going to be where is New Bremen going to develop their offense? Is it, from the half court and how they work it in, and can they keep their turnovers limited so they can get those looks? And on the other side, as I mentioned earlier, Loramie really likes to use the perimeter. They lost a lot when they lost Devin Braun from the year before. Great outside threat for them. Not to say they don't have some guys that can score. They definitely do. But they're just trying to get back into that flow and develop that consistent offense.
Nick Wells at the free throw line gets his first points of the night. We're tied up at 3. Wells, an All-MAC honorable mention selection in football this fall for the Cardinals. He's averaging 4 points per game through the first 3. He'll head back to the line, try and take the lead, and he does just that. And you look at the last 18 meetings between these two, it's been fairly close. 10 of the last 18 have gone the way of the Redskins. As they're hoping for more success tonight. And that's a great save by Nate Meyer. It's almost a turnover. Brandewie being harassed by Blickel. Good job by the Cards defense.
You'll see a lot of similarities in that sense for both these teams, as you probably have already. They both really get after it man-to-man. I think the big difference is Loramie will change theirs up. They'll come a lot more half court. You'll probably see some full court pressure as well. New Bremen is going to stay mostly in their half court and try to make you take a bad shot, and a nice finish there.
The junior Brandewie, 5 points now for him. He's got all 5 of Fort Loramie's. Ball down low to Heitkamp, and we've got a foul going against the Redskins, or did he step out of bounds?
I believe you were right the first time. I think they called a foul. Foul was on number 21, Jake Rotterman, his first. Second team foul now on Fort Loramie, as Nolan Bornos will throw it in for New Bremen.
Having trouble before the 5, just gets it in to Nick Wells. Wells picks up his dribble, looking for some help, and he finally finds Patrick.
This is really the big change for New Bremen. If you look on the floor right now, there really isn't a center. They've got 5, we'll call them guards forwards, where a year ago they were a lot bigger and they had size to do that all the time. Not saying this is a bad thing, it's just a change, right? So now you're a lot more guard-driven and relying on some outside shooting.
Bornhorst
for your
too
offense.
Strong on the fadeaway, but luckily the offensive rebound comes all the way back to Suchland. Bornhorst back to work, being harassed by Grant Albers. Nice pass down low, and we've got a tie-up as Suchland was thinking an easy 2.
Yeah, that'll give it back to Fort Loramie, so a turnover there against New Bremen.
So as Fort Loramie brings it the other way, we talked about it being close in the last 18, but the last 5 in the series has gone to the Redskins. The last New Bremen win coming back in 2012, as this one's knocked out of bounds by the Cardinals. And Greg, that was a game played here at the Nest, 74-62, New Bremen took it, but when you see numbers like that, you haven't beaten an opponent in the last 5 meetings, and you see they're down this year, graduating a lot, you think no better time. As here's a turnover. Nick Wells pushes it up to Bornhorst, and now he loses it. The other way, it's Rosengarten, an easy layup, and as easy as you like it for 2.
Yeah, it's a good way to get your offense started for Fort Loramie and Eli Rosengarten. Get an easy one off a good pressure defense.
Ball in the hands of Blickel. Now Bornhorst has it knocked free. How about this Redskins defense? They're all over the Cardinals.
And if you remember, we talked about this in the key. Limit the turnovers. Loramie is really up in their face on every catch. I can't recall a shot thus far. We're only in the first quarter, but Bremen's not really had any open looks. You know, everything has been contested. Like you said, credit Loramie's defense. But they really make it hard. They harass every shot you take, and when you're trying to set up an offense, you'd like to get an open shot, right?
And it forces things like we just saw, a turnover from a Blickel travel. So 2:40 remaining here in the first quarter of play, a 3-point lead for the visitors. So Redskins work it with Grant Albers. Now over to Colin Moore, who just checked in. This one deflected, stolen away by Bryce Blickel. He'll push the issue up the floor.
Oh, excellent pass.
Yes, it was, and in for two by Logan Suchlin, his first points of the night. So 1-point Redskins lead.
Yeah, good defensive pressure there from New Bremen that time. Converts good defense into basically what you just saw from Loramie a minute ago, a fast break bucket and an excellent pass for the easy two.
Free ball off the mark by Nolan Burning, and ball goes out of bounds. Cardinals will get it back with 2:05 remaining here in the first quarter. Both these teams coming off of different type games from last night. Of course, Fort Loramie losing to Jackson Center 40-34. New Bremen picking up a 57-30 victory over New Knoxville. So they were both in conference play last night. Some non-conference action here as Blickel gets the pass, now down low to Patrick Wells. Finally into the hands of a Fort Loramie player.
Yeah, it was a tough possession for New Bremen. Nobody really ever got a handle on the ball. And in the end, they turned it over again. Good defense from Fort Loramie.
Skip pass into the corner to Meyer. Driving, shot was blocked, but there's a foul that accompanies it.
Foul's going to be on number 24, Logan Suchlin, his first, and the team's second.
And here's a number that head coach Corey Britton can't be too happy with through their first 2 games of the season. They're only shooting as a team 43% from the line. As this first free throw is good for Nate Meyer, his first point of the night.
Yeah, definitely not a stat you want when you're getting the best place to sit and not have defense on you to take a free shot. You like to take advantage of those as the second one rattles out.
So the Cardinals with a minute and a half to work with here in the first quarter, and another turnover. This time Brandewie comes up with it. Brandewie dishes it over to Moore. This one deflected out of bounds, right into the hands of head coach.
That was a very nice catch from Francis over there. He was heads up on that one. I'm not sure he gets an assist for that.
Yeah, he was ready for it, that's for sure. So a 2-point Fort Loramie lead. This one goes all the way back behind the line to Brandewie. And he's averaging 7.5 points per game. He's got 5 tonight. So far, Rosengarten's been quiet. He's the leading scorer for the Redskins on the year. Meyer over to Moore. He'll use the screen, but so far, New Bremen's defense doing a good job. Nice pass down low, off the glass and in for Grant Albers.
Yeah, good patient offense there for Loramie. Looked like they weren't going to be able to get a good look off, and Albers made a nice basket cut and a good finish.
And now we have a foul going against the black and red.
Number 40, Mason Kemper, will check back in for the Redskins. That's really been the difference here so far, Eli, as far as offense. Loramie has really not had quite the struggle as Blickel takes the bank, the mid-range jumper off the glass. But as I was saying, New Bremen's really had a lot more of a struggle to get in their offense. Loramie has had much more space and some time. Not to say Bremen's defense hasn't been good, it has, but Loramie's has been like super disruptive and really kept New Bremen out of any kind of offensive flow.
Got a foul going against the Cardinals. You think Bryce called bank on that shot?
I'm sure. I thought I heard him when he let it go. He's like glass, I think is what he called, not bank, but you know, same thing. That last foul was called on Mitchell Hayes, his first, and the third team foul for both Loramie and New Bremen.
So 18 seconds remain here in the first quarter. You would think the Cardinals are going to play for the final shot.
Redskins, right? Redskins have it, I think.
Is it the Redskins? Excuse me. So Ratterman will inbound. the senior, right in front of the Cardinals bench. To Brandewie, being harassed. Brandewie with a double team around him. And finally a whistle, and they're going to call a traveling violation.
But if you're Coach Britton, you got to be a little surprised by this. I have not seen Bremen. Granted, we're only 3 games. I guess their 4th game in, but not something we've seen a lot from them. And I think they've caught Fort Loramie off guard a little bit. That was a great run and jump there to really catch Brandewie off guard and get the turnover.
Final 9 seconds of play in the first quarter. Bornhorst driving, dishes it down low, shot on its way, off the mark, and rebound comes down to the Redskins. And that's how the first quarter will end. 10-8, Fort Loramie has the slim lead. We'll be back with the second quarter after this.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
Our 1,500 square foot showroom and pro shop at bowlerstore.com is stocked with bowling balls, bags, shoes, accessories, and apparel. The pro shop is equipped with 2 drill presses, measuring devices, and bowling ball maintenance machines to keep your ball rolling great. We offer private lessons for individuals and groups. Moxie's Extra Pair inside bowlerstore.com is also available to rent for private events. Be sure to check out bowlerstore.com or visit our pro shop in Versailles, Ohio for all your bowling product needs.
Back here at New Bremen High School, a 2-point lead for the visitors from Fort Loramie. NKTelco Sports and its sponsors are pleased to bring you replays of high school varsity basketball on NKTelco Channel 3 or in HD on Channel 503. Replays Sunday, December 16th at 6 p.m. You can also watch the games on WSN and on demand on the NKTelco Sports Facebook page at nktelco.net.
That was a really fast-paced first quarter. Both these teams really getting at it defensively. And you've seen a lot of what we're seeing right now. Bodies on the floor, playing hard. Another turnover there from New Bremen.
As it was Logan Suchlin that hit the deck for the Cardinals the other way. Fort Loramie looking to put some points on the board. Mitchell Burning swings it over to the right wing. Now back top of the key to Kemper. And the Cardinals defense doing a good job of keeping the ball outside of the three-point line. Just as I say that, they dish it down low.
Right.
Back to Rosengarten, and now Brandewie will set up.
And both these teams defensively have been very impressive through one quarter. Really no openings offensively either way. It's just been a lot of really strong, aggressive basketball. There's one of the few takes you've seen to the bucket made by Eli Rosengarten.
What a nice move. It must be the first name.
That must be it. You going to start shooting here for us?
12-8. Redskins on top, and it's Brandewie with the turnover. He's got an easy lane to the bucket, and he lays it in. And we got a quick timeout by the Cardinals. Head coach Corey Britton fired up on that Fort Loramie sideline. 14-8, Redskins lead it. We'll take a break and be back.
Wagner's IGA has been servicing their communities for more than 95 years, spanning 3 generations. Wagner's founded their business on 2 basic principles: excellent customer service and quality products. Visit all our locations and experience the finest selection of deli, fresh meats, and variety of beverage choices. While there, don't forget to check out our vast selection of fresh coffee beans, produce, dairy, and bakery items. Visit Wagner's today in Minster, Fort Loramie, and New Bremen, and check us out on Facebook.
14-8, Fort Loramie leading the New Bremen Cardinals back here at the Nest. We'd like to thank our sponsors for tonight's game: Wilson Health, caring without limits; Precision Strip, NKT.TV, Bowlerstore.com, Wagner's IGA, servicing the community for over 95 years; Grand Lake Health, Clopay Building Products, America's favorite garage door; and Moran's Refrigeration, your appliance experts serving Northwest Ohio for over 70 years. Eli Alvarez and Greg Burning here with you. And Greg, you talked about the fast pace and the great defense out of both teams, but both offenses having trouble setting up. They just look uncomfortable because of the defensive pressure.
Yeah, for sure, and they're both doing a great job. Loramie, I feel like, gets their hands in the lane a little better. You you really try to teach deflections, and they've had a number of them. We saw it in the JV game as well. Their JV team did a great job getting their hands in the lane. New Bremen winning that game 60-47, but the same kind of thing. You know, a lot of deflections, a lot of people getting hands and arms in the lane and knocking down balls, and the last possession was a great example as Nick Brandon got an easy 2 off of a steal. But New Bremen now going against a little bit of zone action here. Great call from Britton out of the timeout. Bremen just trying to get an offensive flow going here, get an open shot, you know, because Loramie's defense has been all over the place. Great look inside there.
They swing it back out to Hayes, driving. Tough shot for the sophomore, but he gets it to go.
Yeah, and a nice offensive set from New Bremen, especially going against that zone. Get some nice ball movement. Probably the best look they've had tonight off the little floater from Mitchell Hayes.
Almost some interference as a young fan was trying to cross the student section as Brandewie, nice dribble behind the back, trying to get free over to Rosengarten, looking for some range. It's off the mark. Ball free in the corner, and the call is going to keep it with the Redskins. Or is it? I didn't see it. Yes, it will. So Nate Meyer, the sophomore, checks back into the contest. Meyer had 6 total points through 2 games coming into the contest. He's already got 1 tonight. Brandewie swings it over into the corner, gets it back. Blickel all over him. A lot of contact, no foul.
Yeah, a nice overplay there by New Bremen to get up the steal.
It's Wells now into the corner to Blickel for 3, and Bryce Blickel gets it to go.
Good 2 back-to-back offensive possessions by New Bremen. Cut the lead now down to 1.
That's 7 points for the senior Blickel. Driving inside, tough shot, no good for Albers. And stepping out of bounds, ball will go back to the Cardinals.
And it's crazy, right? Like Loramie, both, like I said, I don't think you can talk about defenses of either of these teams being bad. Both have been, but then it's like for a couple possessions, each of them turns it up a notch. Loramie got a couple quick possessions and scores. Bremen now just returned the favor and got 2 back-to-back buckets. Oh,
wow.
That's a tough call because so Bremen just got called for an over and back, and that's a possession call, meaning the ball has to not be across the half-court line. 3 points, actually, have to not be across. And he caught that ball. Didn't have the greatest of angle. Neither coach really said anything, so I'm guessing it was okay. Just from our vantage point, we're right at half-court. I thought he looked like he was plenty across when he caught that, but either way, turnover gives it back to Fort Loramie.
The interesting thing is both officials recognized it and called it together, too.
Yeah. It must have been right.
Yeah. As Albers over to Meyer. And again, the New Bremen defense harassing Fort Loramie. Brandewie thought he was free, now sets his feet. Shot off the mark, Heitkamp with the rebound.
Yeah, tough contested shot there by Brandewie. Bremen coming away with the board, the chance to take the lead.
Bornhorst driving, puts up a shot. No good. Fight for the rebound down low. It's still free. Bodies everywhere.
At least you could take a snapshot of that. There was about 6 players on the floor there all at once. They're all just playing and fighting hard for every possession. I believe that jump ball is going to give it back to Fort Loramie.
And that is the call, it looks like. Both teams weren't sure of it, but now they head the other way. So the sophomore, Nolan Burning, will bring the ball up the floor. Burning driving inside, now kicks it back out to Meyer. Over to Albers. Approaching 4 minutes to go here in the first half. Ball down low. Tough shot off the glass, no good for Kemper.
As I said, probably a travel there on Blickel right after he got the rebound. Tried to make a quick move and shuffled his feet. So turnover will give it back to Fort Loramie.
Get a look at the replay.
Yeah, you can see it right there. It's a great job by the replay. Shuffled his feet. Just got a little bit ahead of himself. Loramie will keep possession.
So they triggered into Albers. A lot of sophomores getting some playing time for the Redskins this year with the departure of all those seniors from a year ago. Tough shot inside. It's a charge that they're going to call against the senior Rosengarten.
Wow. Good defense again there by New Bremen. That is the first foul for Eli Rosengarten. Just see the replay. Good position by Wells. Timeout on the floor.
Take a timeout with 3:51 remaining here in the first half. 1 point lead for the visitors from Fort Loramie.
At Joint Township District Memorial Hospital, your comfort and care is our #1 priority. Our surgical nerve blocks are a great way to reduce pain and can be used for arm, shoulder, hip, knee, ankle, and foot surgeries. The nerve blocks decrease the stress of surgery on your body, requires less anesthesia and pain medications, and in many cases can offer relief for several days. Visit grandlakehealth.org for details on all of our services.
Back here at New Bremen High School, 14-13 is your score with 3:51 remaining in the second quarter as the visitors from Fort Loramie have the lead. Out of the timeout, it'll be New Bremen to go to work.
A little three-quarter court pressure here from Fort Loramie. Bremen handles it nicely as the Redskins drop back into a man-to-man.
Bornhorst over to Nick Wells. Mitchell Hayes. Now Patrick Wells driving. Two bodies around him. He goes up with it anyway, and that's going to be a travel.
So another turnover there for New Bremen.
So 3:24 remains here in the first half. And Greg, we talked about Fort Loramie has gotten the better of New Bremen the last 5 meetings. There was a time when that was not the case. Back from 2004 to 2010, New Bremen had a stretch of winning 5 straight against the Redskins as Roden Gardens 3 is way off the mark.
Yeah, it's always been a pretty good, I don't want to call it a rivalry. It's a pretty good game for teams that don't play in the same league, and it's been good competition over the years for sure.
Rosengarten hearing from the New Bremen student section. As Rosengarten 4 points to his name tonight. He had 22 in the win last night. 3 ball in the corner off the mark for Patrick Wells. Offensive rebound down to Heitkamp. Top of the key for 3. It's Hayes. That one no good. And they're going to say that it's out of bounds as Mitchell Burning was trying to come up with the loose ball.
Substitution for New Bremen. Bryce Blickel will check back in for the Cardinals.
Bornhorst inbounds it, gets it right back. Puts up a shot off the mark. Redskins the other way with the junior Brandewie. As we approach 2.5 to go here in the second quarter. Feels like we've been stuck on 14-13 for a while.
It's been a while, you're right. A lot of good defense in this ball game. And a lot of shots from the outside. Both these teams doing a nice job of closing up the gap into paint. And right on cue, as I say that, nice drive to the lane there from, I believe that was Meyer. I'm sorry, Grant Albers.
Yep, the sophomore. Get a look at the replay. And Fort Loramie definitely wants to be aggressive, but it's that New Bremen defense that's denying them from getting to the hole.
That foul was on Patrick Wells, his first. That's going to send Albers to the free throw 4-2.
First one on its way and good for the sophomore. 3 points for him tonight. And their first 2 games combined, he had 3 total. Back to the line to try and make it 2 for 2. And we've got a lane violation before the shot.
So that goes against Fort Loramie, so the turnover will give it back to New Bremen.
Cardinals trailing by 2. As Heitkamp stepped out of bounds, and the ball will go back to the Redskins.
That's a tough one for New Bremen. Good defense again there by Fort Loramie. Neither, like you said, neither of these teams have gotten into much flow at all here in the second quarter as far as setting up a half-court offense.
Brandewie will dish it off to Rosengarten. Down low, nice pass, nice find, and the bucket's good as well for Mitchell Burning.
Yeah, great cut there to the bucket by Mitchell Burning and a nice delivery from Rosengarten for the easy 2, and Loramie now with the 4-point advantage. And New Bremen with another turnover.
As Logan Suchland checks into the contest for the Cardinals. And now head coach Brad Francis, who's been quiet for most of the night, his volume starts to go up a little bit.
He wanted to be heard. So Loramie, I believe, biggest lead of the night's been 6. They're at 4 now, but the way points have been throughout this ball game, these possessions, I know we're only in the second quarter, but obviously neither of these teams it doesn't give you the impression they're going to build much of a lead, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
The sophomore, Moore with it. Nice pass down low, shot on its way. Give him the bucket, give him the foul, the senior Mitchell Burning.
Yeah, nice slip screen there by Mitchell Burning. Come up to set the high screen for the guard. Instead, slips through to the bucket. You'll see here on the replay, he comes out like he's going to set a screen, slips through instead, gets to finish to the bucket with a chance for the three-point play. Foul was on Nolan Barhorst, his first, and the 5th now for New Bremen.
So Burning looking for 3 points, and it rolls in and out. Cardinals the other way, trailing 19-13. Hayes being double teamed. Kicks it over to Bryce Blickel. Hayes calling for it back, and he gets it back at the logo. Looking for a crossover move. Instead, over to the senior Tinkman. Back to Blickel. Down low, working with it, Patrick Wells. Turnaround jumper off the mark. Ends up in the hands of Wells again. Look what I found.
Yeah, right.
And now saying that is Colin Moore as he comes the other way. Moore, tough shot, a lot of contact, and they're going to give him the foul. He'll go to the free throw line for 2.
Good aggressive drive to the bucket there by Moore. That foul was on number 24, Logan Suchlin, his second.
6'4" sophomore has 2 points to his name this year, make it 3. Make it a 20-13 contest with 42 seconds remaining here in the first half.
They had a couple big offensive possessions coming here for New Bremen. That lead stretched to 7. Not to say they can't make some buckets and score some points in a hurry, but as good as the Loramie defense has been, it's been tough to come by any buckets, let alone a handful of them, as they now push their lead to 8 with that made free throw.
This is always the question you have. You're trailing, and it's by 8 for New Bremen. Do you play for the final shot with 40 seconds remaining in the half?
Yeah, I think you look for your best offense. Right here you see Wells take the little move down the lane. A lot of time in high school to run off that much, but you make a good point because now Loramie could sit and hold for the last shot if they wanted. But the other thing I think to think about here too is the defenses are so good. Do you want to hold the ball for 35 or 40 seconds? It's going to be hard because they're really aggressive and a lot of movement in the defenses as Wells steps to the free throw line for 2.
Patrick Wells looking for his first points tonight, and he finds them. Wells averaging 9.5 per contest on the year.
And last foul was on Mitchell Burning, his first, and the 5th team foul against Fort Loramie.
Patrick Wells going 2 for 2. Justin Tinkman checks into the contest once more for New Bremen. The Cardinals are looking for a sweep. They won the JV contest 60-47, but before that, the freshmen played, and that was a 33-27 win for New Bremen. As there's 28 seconds remaining here in the first half, Brandewie looking for it off the glass, can't find it, rebound down to New Bremen. Now the ball loose in the corner, and it's going to go back to the Cardinals. You see the New Bremen student section in full force, blocking a little bit of the view.
Yeah, that far corner down here, a little tough to make out as the students make their presence known.
10 seconds, over to Blickel. Looking to go down low to Bornhorst. Now they find him outside with 4 seconds. Top of the key to Tinkman. 2 seconds, and it's off the mark. Put back at the horn is good for the junior Patrick Wells. And that's how the first half comes to an end. Fort Loramie on top, 21-17.
NKTelco Sports. More than 140 local high school and college games. Football, basketball, volleyball, baseball, softball, and soccer. Support your local team with NKTelco Sports and promote your business to 250,000 households in Northwest Ohio. Call 1-888-NKTelco. and get in the game.
Clopay Building Products, America's favorite garage door, is now hiring for all manufacturing and over-the-road CDLA driving positions. Clopay is the largest residential garage door manufacturer in North America, and we are continuing to grow. Join our team and work in a safe, clean, modern environment. Clopay offers a great benefits package, is an equal opportunity employer, and a drug-free work environment. Imagine the possibilities when you open the door to your career at clopaydoor.com/careers.
Moran Refrigeration in St. Mary's is celebrating 70 years in business. We are committed to offering you top name brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, and KitchenAid, Samsung, Fisher & Paykel, and Speed Queen. Come in and experience the one-on-one personal service that you won't get from big box stores. Our delivery and installation specialist will assure you that your purchases arrive safely and are installed properly. Moran Refrigeration, exceeding your expectations.
Back here at the Nest in New Bremen, it's halftime, 21-17 the score. The Fort Loramie Redskins on top of the New Bremen Cardinals. Eli Alvarez and Greg Burning here with you. And Greg, a pretty entertaining first half if you like defense.
I was just going to say the same thing. Definitely a defense driven there as you see the first half stats. Both these teams really showing their strength, I would say, more than anything, and played really hard. A lot of different looks. You know, both these teams like to play man-to-man defense, and you see a lot of that in the half court. But Loramie pulled out a couple half-court traps, couple presses, and Bremen did the same thing, you know, really mixed it up. And I think the element of surprise by both teams really went a long way. Both threw some quick jumps out there that neither team, I think, was quite expecting, and timing was everything. One of them towards the end of the first quarter, Bremen jumped a quick half-court pass, you know, out of the sideline, out of bounds, and really caught Loramie, I think it was, off balance, and they got a turnover out of it, an easy bucket. But both teams really get after it. Bremen definitely turning the ball over a little bit more than Loramie. But, you know, we talked about it in the pregame. It's, can one of these teams get in their offensive sets and stay there, be consistent, you know, and a lot of that comes with a solid point guard play. Can you get your team into an offensive flow and make some good looks? But the way these defenses are playing, if they keep that up, it's going to be, can you control your turnovers, get some consistent looks, and get some easy baskets on the break? I feel like we're going to have, when it comes down to the end here, and some timely shots and some free throws may show the result of this game.
And if you need more examples of how good these defenses have been, you look at the two leading scorers for both teams. They've been held in check tonight. Nolan Bornhorst averages 9 points per game. He hasn't scored yet for the Cardinals. And Eli Rosengarten averaging 19 points per game. He's only got 4. New Bremen goes to work down low, looking for the first points of the second half. Patrick Wells off the mark. Offensive rebound putback, no good for Heitkamp. And the ball goes out of bounds. It'll stay with the Cardinals. And New Bremen will inbound with Nolan Bornhorst. Gets it down low as Wells is being double teamed. He puts up a shot. Patrick Wells gets it to go.
A nice persistence there by Patrick Wells, gets his 5th point. And New Bremen able to cut within 2.
Ball finds its way to Kemper. And head coach Corey Britton wants his team to come out with energy just like they had towards the end of that first half. They were on fire defensively. Now they'll slow things down offensively with the junior Nick Brandewee.
Yeah, a great matchup between Brandewee and Bornhorst out top there. Really going at it that whole first half.
Rosengarten, like we said, trying to get going. A lot of contact and a charge going against the senior.
And he just got the whole squad of New Bremen D'ing him up there. If you see the replay here, they switched like 3 times. And Mitchell Hayes cutting through the lane to get the charge. And that's a second team foul on Eli Rosengarten.
Quickly the way, Patrick Wells driving, tough shot, and he can't get the lucky bounce. Offensive rebound, Bornhorst, and he's fouled.
Yeah, and already you've seen something a little different from New Bremen here in the second half. Wells has gotten to the paint twice on the first 2 possessions, leading to some offensive rebounds and other opportunities as Nolan Bornhorst now heads the free throw line.
Again, he's looking for his first points tonight. Bornhorst, first team All-MAC last year as a sophomore. And the 6'1 junior gets his first point, and he was big for them last year. I don't want to say he came out of nowhere, but I don't think people expected him to have the season he did last year as a sophomore.
Yeah, for sure.
Goes 1 for 2 at the stripe. Great hustle by Heitkamp, and he goes right into the bench as they're going to have to go clean up a mess over there. And
I think they're going to catch Nick Brandewy there on a foul as Heitkamp went running out of bounds to get that ball. He got pushed into the chairs.
I think we might have an injured fan as well. I think one of the managers maybe for New Bremen got run into as they're attending to him.
Hopefully everything okay there on the far sideline as they get back. You see Heitkamp on the replay.
Yep. And right into one of the ball boys he's back up and he's walking out of the
like
gym.
He's going to get some attention from the trainer. So hopefully everything okay there. Good sign to see him get up and walk away from that. Last thing I want to do is see someone get hurt, especially a trainer and ball boy manager for the team.
That's got to be scary seeing the 6'3" Heitkamp coming at you too. Bornhorst will inbound it. Stolen away by Brandewy. There's another collision.
Yeah, what a great read there by Nick Brandewy. It's like he was a cornerback intercepting a pass and got the early read on that. And that'll be a foul against Blickel for New Bremen, his first.
Tell you who liked that effort, head coach Corey Britton. He was the first one to run over and pick up Bryce Blickel as well. Now bodies all over the floor to start the second half. Wide open for three is Meyer, but it's short. Rebound fought for, and it's a jump ball. Possession arrow. We'll keep it down here.
Yeah, Meyer barely drew iron on that three. Fort Loramie lucky to get that one back and get another chance as they have now just a 1-point lead here early in the third quarter.
Meyer gets it off the inbounds. Dribble it out back to Brandewy. Brandewy's being guarded closely by Bornhorst. Talked about that fun matchup all night so far. Dangerous skip pass into the corner. Somehow got it there.
Yeah, as you watch more Loramie's offense, you notice it really starts out high. They do it like talked about the high screen and roll, but you put your offense really, really out far. They start out by half court quite a bit, and that spacing can be great as you get a nice run of there from Brandewy, but it can also make it a little tough against a good defense to keep your offense with a good rhythm. But nice possession that time as Nick Brandewy gets the two and Loramie's lead back to three.
The pressure continues by the Redskins defense. Now in the corner, long two is good. And credit Patrick Wells for that, excuse me.
Wells coming out a lot more aggressive. Patrick Wells, that is, here in the second half. He now has 7. As they marked that one wrong on the scoreboard, it should be 23-22 in favor of Loramie, and a good defensive stop there by New Bremen.
So hopefully they'll get the scores table's attention as Mitchell Hayes is getting the camera's attention with that bucket.
Great backdoor cut and a nice find from, I believe it was Blickel that caught him. And just like that, New Bremen up on top by 1.
They have corrected it. Meyer kicks it down low to Albers, and we've got a foul.
Yeah, a lot of hands in there on that pile for New Bremen. Foul's going to go against Hayes, his second, and the second team foul here in the third quarter for New Bremen. And Fort Loramie has 4 team fouls already here, halfway through, not even halfway through the third quarter. So something to watch there is a tough pass there by Kemper, and Bryce Blickel all but comes in our front living room there, and the effort rewarded by the New Bremen student section.
He's been all over the place tonight. Talk about this team plays with a lot of heart, the Cardinals. The Redskins do as well, as you see Blickel.
You got to love that. I don't care who you are watching basketball. That's, like you said, both teams really go after it and leave it all out in the court.
Moore dishes it down low. We've got a foul going against New Bremen. And I tell you what, Greg, you look at this Cardinals team last year, 11-14. 2 years ago, 2-22. They've come a long way since then.
Yeah, they've definitely put together a nice program. They got a lot of youth, as you mentioned earlier, a lot of some sophomores in this team, juniors, and they got some young talent coming up in the freshman and sophomore classes playing JV as well, and nothing but good things, I think, coming in the right direction for the New Bremen program.
Yeah, the big thing 2 years ago, they had a 1-8 record in the MAC. and they won their MAC opener last night against New Knoxville. As now we've got some confusion with the officiating.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for him to try to figure out who that foul was on. Finally got that straightened away. It was on Bornhorst, his second.
Entry pass down low, shot on its way for Brandewie off the mark, and Blickel has it. So 1 point Cardinals lead. Looking to extend that here. Ball with Mitchell Hayes. To Nick Wells, the senior. Now Blickel in the corner as we approach 4 minutes to go here in the third. Blickel driving, shot off the bottom of the rim, and the rebound down to Colin Moore. The other way quickly, Meyer is fouled, and he'll go to the free throw line to shoot 2.
I think you're going to say that a lot in the second half. Both these teams just really going at it. As you see a good drive here, good camera work as Heitkamp draws the foul. As Nate Meyer will step to the free throw line to shoot a pair.
Sophomore Nate Meyer, 1 point tonight so far, and it's going to stay at that as he misses his first. But the free throw woes continue. Coming into the contest, we talked about Loramie, 43% from the line. And now that's only through 2 games, but it's still not a number you ever want to see on the score sheet.
For sure. And, you know, teams go through that. Again, we mentioned a lot of these guys just coming off of the football season, so that may have a little bit to do with that as well. Trying to get their legs back into basketball shape.
Yeah, second one is good for Meyer, and what a season it was on the gridiron for the Redskins.
For sure. They've had a solid program the last couple of years, made a nice run this year, I believe, losing in the regional final to Crestview, if I'm not mistaken. But again, another solid season from them.
That game played over at Harmon Field in Walpaw, Canetta. As we're tied up at 24, 3:50 remaining here in the third quarter. Nick Brandewie picks up his dribble, somehow finds Colin Moore in the corner. Not his range. Kicks it over to Albers. Fort Loramie back to Meyer. Moore again. New Bremen's defense doing a good job. As they skip it over, and this time it's stolen by Mitchell Hayes.
Yeah, Hayes has seen that play before, and he reads it all the way. There's some help defense there by Colin Moore. He's going to be called for a foul.
Get a look at the replay. A lot of contact as Hayes was trying to drive. So he'll go to the free throw line. The sophomore, 4 points tonight, averages 6.5 per game. Mitchell Hayes, also an outstanding baseball player, All-MAC honorable mention last spring for the Cardinals as he misses his first free throw.
Nolan Burning will check back in for Fort Loramie as Hayes gets ready to shoot his second free throw, all knotted up here with 3:24 left to go in the third quarter.
And Greg, this is a Cardinals team that's scoring 50 points per game, but they're giving up 47 points per game. You look at the score right now, I have a hard time thinking they'll hit either of those marks.
Yeah, that's right. Unless something special happens in the fourth quarter, this is turning out to be a defensive battle as Brandon Heitkamp just reached in and stole that. He's like, if you're not going to go anywhere with this ball, I'm taking it. And I think it led to a jump ball, which will keep it with New Bremen.
As Bornhorst having trouble getting it in, he finally does to Heitkamp in the corner. Now he swings it back over to Mitchell Hayes. The third quarter was a killer last night for Fort Loramie against Jackson Center in their loss as the Tigers went on a 13-1 run to pull away in the victory. As we've got a foul going against the Redskins.
It'll be the second foul on Colin Moore, and that is going to put the Loramie total to 6. So we're 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. I'll say that again, third quarter, and Loramie's at 16 fouls. I said it earlier, we're going to be shooting some free throws. Bremen's not far behind at 4 fouls, so that whole fourth quarter might just be a free throw match. I hope not, because that doesn't make for as exciting basketball.
No, it does not. But the advantage goes to New Bremen at the free throw line, percentage-wise, if you look at both of their stats. But yes, it is not the most exciting thing to watch, that's for sure.
Bremen trying to pull it out here a little bit, run something a little different, going into a four corners look.
One of those, you're never quite sure what to make of it when you see it. I mean, it's a tie ball game, Both teams have had trouble getting it going offensively, as we've got a tie-up that'll give the ball back to Fort Loramie, and head coach Brad Francis not happy.
Well, that's an odd look when you're playing against a defense that's that aggressive, because all you're doing is giving the defense a better chance to get the ball half court, which means they can get a breakaway. Not say it was a bad call. I'm just saying it was a little bit unique at that point.
Now, and I'm sure head coach Francis would argue if it was executed correctly, it would be okay, as he was upset with the last possession.
We had another foul that last possession. It was against Bryce Blickel, his second. So that'll be the 15th foul now against New Bremen.
Ball goes into the corner to Grant Albers. Under 2.5 remaining here in the third quarter. Tie ball game from the Nest in New Bremen. Nolan Burney, the sophomore, being guarded closely by Justin Tinkman. Loramie's offense struggling to get the ball down low. It's all coming from back at the logo at the moment. Brandewie, nice pass down low to Albers. Nice find by Albers as he finds Mitchell Burney.
Yeah, good offense. What looked to be a rough offensive possession turned into a nice one there at the end. A good look into the paint. Mitchell Burney, the recipient, he now has 6.
Lead back to Fort Loramie. Hayes, top of the key, and we've got a timeout called by the New Bremen Cardinals. 1:42 remain in the third quarter, 26-24, Fort Loramie on top.
PSG Automotive Outfitters, your truck accessory headquarters.
Back here at New Bremen, a 2-point lead for the visitors from Fort Loramie. I'd like to thank our sponsors for tonight's game: PSG Automotive Outfitters, Minster Bank Financial Solutions for a lifetime, Schwederman Pharmacy, pharmacies located in Salina, Coldwater, Minster, New Bremen, St. Mary's, and Walpaughnetta, New Knoxville Supply, Cargill, Minster Dental Care, and Francis Furniture. Eli Alvarez and Greg Burning here with you. And Greg, I tell you what, we talked about the defense for most of the game, and I think we're sounding like a broken record at this point.
Right.
But what else is there to talk about? That's been the main focus point.
Yeah, it really has. I think both these teams really reevaluated their offenses at halftime, and they're trying to get the ball, especially on the Bremen side, more in the paint and get things going. And you see it on Loramie as well, but I feel like there was a much more assertive effort for Bremen, but both defenses, again, they're just really good, and they really get after it and cause some problems. And as I mentioned before, we're going to start the free throws. That'll be foul number 7 against Fort Loramie. That's the tough part. When you play aggressive D, you better be ready for the opposite side of that, which is you may put team into foul trouble and you may put somebody at the foul line a lot. And Justin Tankman's going to be the recipient here at this point, as that last foul for Fort Loramie was called on number 34, Nolan Burning, his first.
Tinkman, a 3-sport athlete for the Cardinals. All-MAC honorable mention in football this fall. Second-team All-MAC last spring on the diamond. As his first free throw is no good. Misses the front end of the 1-and-1. And the Redskins will come the other way with Brandewie. 2-point lead for Fort Loramie. Meyer down low. Ball goes out of bounds. And it looks like it'll stay with the Redskins. We talked about the success of Fort Loramie over the past few years. Their girls team has been pretty successful this year still. That's a great program.
Yeah, it's been a good program for a long time. Loramie's been really good at basketball. As you mentioned, the girls have had just a very sound program for a lot of years.
So we're under a minute to go here in the third quarter. Kemper now to the corner to Brandewie. Skip pass, another dangerous one to Nolan Burney. He'll drive baseline, back out to Brandewie. Now top of the key for 3. Off the mark, no good for Jake Ratterman, and it's out of bounds. Ball goes back to the Cardinals.
Some pretty good ball movement that time for Loramie. As you said, though, missed 3-pointer. We'll give it back to New Bremen, down by 2. And again, full court pressure here being brought by Fort Loramie.
Blickel quickly up the floor, met by a double team over to Hayes.
Well, if you're New Bremen at this point, you think you got to be attacking the bucket. 17 fouls on somebody. You're getting eerily close to 10. That'd get you a double bonus, as the last 25 seconds wind down here, the third quarter.
And the thing is, everybody out on the floor for Fort Loramie, no one with more than 2 personal fouls, even with the 17 fouls this early in the second half.
Coach Francis looking to take the last one here for New Bremen in the third quarter.
As we're under 10 seconds, Bornhorst double teamed, dribbling into the corner. 5 seconds, pressure all over him. Bornhorst, 2 seconds, just throws it up. And that's how the third quarter ends. 26-24, Fort Loramie on top. Buckle up, we're in for an exciting one. Back with the fourth after this.
At CAPT, we use hometown opportunity to make sure that when we have a position open within the facility, it gets put on the website.
We've really been excited to see how that has grown so much over the last several years.
If anyone is looking for a job, it's the best place to go.
We really want to do whatever we can to get folks that are from this community back to this area.
I would recommend any manufacturing company that they take a look at it. It's a very good benefit for companies at no cost.
At Minster Bank, we understand that life can get hectic. That's why when it comes to your banking, we offer the services that make your life simpler with tools like person-to-person payments, Pop Money, mobile and online banking, and bill pay. But most of all, Minster Bank is a supportive member of your community with personal relationships and customer service that reach outside of our branches. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
A fresh 8 minutes put up on the clock, possibly the final 8 minutes of the ball game. 26-24, it's been pretty close, Greg. You can never be too careful with your wording.
Yeah, that's right. It's definitely been a hard-fought ball game here. Close most of the time. I think Loramie had an 8-point lead at one point. Most of that third quarter, though, being back and forth within 2 or 3 points. And Bremen will start with it.
And start with it they do, as it's Mitchell Hayes drawing the foul and getting the bucket.
Yeah, great drive right down the lane from Hayes. Able to hang in the air, draw the contact, and it gives the chance to put New Bremen back on top. They haven't been there. I think they were up for a point in the third quarter, about halfway through, and the rest of the time it was Loramie who led for, like I said, about 2 or 3 points throughout.
Hayes can't get the free throw to go. So we'll stay tied up. Brandewie will set the offense up. Fort Loramie works it into the corner with Albers. Picking up his dribble, back to Brandewie. Now Rosengarten, again a quiet night for him. 4 points for Eli Rosengarten, who averages 19 a game. And again, it's early, so those numbers are a little bit skewed.
And you had to know he got some extra attention. You know, you go through the scouting report, it doesn't take long to look down their report and see one guy that had a lot of points in both those games.
He had 22 in the loss to Jackson Center last night. As we've got a foul going against New Bremen. It looks like they'll call the senior Blickel for that.
And that is his third, so big foul there against New Bremen, the 6th team foul as well. As you see here on the replay, he got up in on the arm a little bit there. Loramie will keep it as we are dead even. 7 minutes, just over 7 to go in the ball game.
Brandewie will go back to work. Bornhorst guarding him, and we've got a foul. Nice move by Brandewie, faking the pass and driving to the hole. And Brandewie, the leading scorer for both teams on the night. He's got 9 points.
And back-to-back fouls for New Bremen put 2 of their starters in foul trouble with 3 each, that being Nolan Bornhorst and Bryce Blickel.
First free throw good for the junior. Now, somebody's wrong here. It's either me or it's the scores table, because I have him down for 10 points. They have him for 8.
I've got him for 10 as well, so we'll go with you being right.
I like the sound of that. The second free throw goes. Bremen the other way. Logan Suchlin having
double
trouble.
Team. Yeah, good double team by Loramie. Back to back there. It's going to force a timeout.
So the Cardinals take a timeout. 6:52 remaining in the ball game. 2-point lead for Fort Loramie. We'll be back after this.
Schwiedemann Pharmacies began serving the people of Auglaize County in 1916 when Urban Schwiedemann purchased the building and business from J.H. Hoffman. The New Bremen location is one of the longest-running pharmacies in the country, with over 110 years of serving its patrons. Since then, 4 more stores have been added: Coldwater, St. Mary's, Minster, and Wapakoneta to round out the group. Our services include prescription refills, home medical equipment, nursing home services, customized compounded medication, vaccinations, and so much more.
NKTelco Sports and its sponsors are pleased to bring you replays of high school varsity basketball on NKTelco Channel 3 or in HD on Channel 503. Look for another replay of tonight's game Sunday, December 16th at 6 p.m. You can also watch the games on WOSN and on demand on the NKTelco Sports Facebook page at nktelco.net. So out of the timeout, Cardinals go to work. Mitchell Hayes. It's been a nice night for Hayes. He's got 6 points. He's been involved a lot in the offense as Nolan Bornhorst picks up his dribble. Over to Suchlin, and another person who's been involved in the offense for New Bremen, and on the defense, Bryce Blickel. A lot of hustle plays for him. 3-ball, top of the key is good for Patrick Wells.
And if you were watching Wells shoot that ball, you could tell he felt good when he let it go. He was backpedaling after he let that deep 3 go. Big bucket for New Bremen, gives them a 1-point lead.
Redskins looking to respond. Rosengarten.
I was just going to say, I bet they're trying to get something going with Rosengarten here. Surprised. Yep. He was close to the half-court line. He stepped over it. I'm a little surprised they haven't ran something for him.
Yeah,
I am too. Come out high, set him a screen, get him going. You see the last shot here by Wells. He's way up. Watch him back away. That's what I said. He knew. I was watching. Yep. You could tell he let that go. That's what you call a shooter's touch. When you feel that shot come out of your hand, it's good. He was pedaling all the way and knew he had a nice defense by Loramie.
Albers with the steal, quickly the other way. He gets caught up, kicks it out to Brandewee, left open for 3, and Fort Loramie takes the lead again.
Yeah, and there's the answer. Nice stroke from Nick Brandewee. He's having a ball game, 13.
In trouble now is Patrick Wells. He finds Bryce Blickel. All of a sudden, the offense starting to pick up for both teams. Bornhorst driving, and we've got a foul before the shot on the floor against Fort Loramie. See who they call that on. Looks like they're going to get the senior Mason Kemper. And if that is the case, which it is, it'll be his 4th. So he'll take a seat with 5:38 remaining. And Bornhorst, as you take a look at the replay, he'll go to the free throw line. Gets the front end of the 1-and-1. Bornhorst, that's just his 2nd point of the night.
Yeah, he's had a tough, good matchup there with Brandewee. And really had a tough time getting some good looks. But I think you'll see a lot of that with this New Bremen team. Nobody really scoring a lot throughout this first 3 or 4 games. A lot of guys around 9-10 points each game as Bornhorst able to knock down the 2nd.
All of his points coming from the free throw line tonight. We're tied up at 31. Under 5.5 remains. Colin Moore with it. Hayes guarding him. Moore trying to get past him. Picks up his dribble. Instead goes down low, and it's a mistake as Mitchell Burning can't corral it.
Yeah, tough. Right idea there for Fort Loramie. That's really where, when they've had their offense work well, they've gotten some good looks inside of their bigs. Got a nice cut there from Burning. Can't hang on to it. Turnover gives it back to New Bremen.
So we'll see what the Cardinals do here. Tie ball game, 5 minutes remaining.
Had to hurry to get that one across the half court. Almost
Definitely.
got caught for a 10-second violation.
Nick Wells backing it out over to Hayes.
Here Coach Francis telling his team to be patient.
Shot off the dribble, no good for Hayes. And the rebound down to Fort Loramie.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's the shot you wanted.
Especially if he's looking for them to be patient.
Right.
And now we've got a timeout by Fort Loramie. 4:38 remains in the ball game. We're tied up at 31 apiece. We'll be back after this.
New Knoxville Supply Company, the supply source for residential, commercial, and industrial jobs. We specialize in plumbing products from many name brands, electrical products from replacing a light switch to rewiring an entire house, heating, air conditioning, and geothermal products, sheet metal ductwork, installations, and service. We are now housing more inventory, so all the hardware items you need to complete the job are available right away. New Knoxville Supply. Stop in, call, or check us out online at newknoxvillesupply.com.
We're back here at New Bremen. There's 4:38 remaining in the ball game. We're tied up at 31 apiece between the Cardinals and the Fort Loramie Redskins. Eli Alvarez, Greg Burning here with you. Greg, there's a reason to start the fourth quarter. I said it could possibly be the final 8 minutes of play because, well, we're tied right now, halfway through.
We've been pretty close throughout. And as you mentioned, offenses haven't been explosive to say the least. Credit both defenses. They've done a really nice job here tonight. Loramie takes the time out there to try to get a look here to see if they're going to run a set here or what they're going to do. They've done a lot of high screen and roll action, and Bremen has done well defending it, as you can see on the scoreboard there, even at 31. But 4.5 minutes to go here, starting over to see which of these teams can get it going here the best here in 4.5 minutes in the fourth. As Coach wants New Bremen to come out here a little bit, it looks like, as he's pulling out kind of the same card New Bremen did earlier with the four corners.
Rosengarten content with just holding it. Back over to Brandewie, yeah.
New Bremen a little different look here, kind of back into a 1-2-2.
I think
and finally it looks like they kind of yielded. It's like, well, they were holding it, I was like, well, then, but eventually just said, okay, run the offense, I guess. It was a little odd, a travel call there, easy call right in front of the official. But that was just an odd possession, right? You pull the ball out and basically are saying, hey, defense, come out and get us or we're not going to run our offense. But then 10 seconds later decided to just run their offense.
Well, and it's the second time tonight because New Bremen did it earlier where they've run that offense and it results in a turnover.
Yeah,
so
that's right, both teams.
As the Cardinals.
That's why I said earlier, it's tough to hold the ball much against either of these defenses. They're too active.
Lickel for three off the mark. Rebound tracked down by Brandewie. This place would have exploded if that would gone in.
Yeah.
So we remain tied up at 31. Fort Loramie says we're just going to run our offense now.
Yeah, New Bremen back in that same look, that 1-2-2.
Ball swings into the corner. Now down low to Albers. Back out to Rosengarten. So the offense looking for something with Brandewie. So we approach 3 minutes to go here in the ball game. Brandewie kicks it into the corner to Albers. Again, it's a new look Fort Loramie team. Gone are the mullets from last year. Some different haircuts.
They trimmed their hair.
Yes, they did. Ball now to Meyer. And right now, it's more of a matter of Fort Loramie really content to just move the ball around the outside rather than New Bremen holding them to it.
Right. They aren't really driving down the lane or looking in the paint. They're just swinging it around the offense. And I'm a little surprised Eli Rosengarten hasn't let one of those loose. Like right now, if they just chuck him the ball in the corner, he's open.
Yeah, head coach Corey Britton actually just grabbed him and threw him out there. Said, go closer to the ball. You had 22 points last night.
Right. It takes some shots.
Yeah, he only has 4 to his name, and those came back in the first half.
Well, this will definitely speed up the fourth quarter as we're down to 2 minutes, 2:10.
And this is where you're going to get the cries for a shot clock in high school basketball again. As now some pressure being applied. It's stolen away by Hayes the other way for the lead. And he can't get it to go. Put back no good either by Heitkamp. And now a fight for it and a foul against the Cardinals.
And what a 2 golden opportunities missed there by New Bremen at point blank. Can't get it. And not only do they not get it, they foul. So all that effort, you see a great turnover there as the thing rolls right off the rim. Heitkamp with the tip. And now it's going to send number 30, Grant Albers, to the free throw line for a 1-and-1.
They talk about it going from 0 to 100 real quick. Loramie was just holding on to the ball. In a matter of seconds, now they're at the free throw line. Albers, 1-1, gets the first. And the Redskins have a 1-point lead.
And Albers done a nice job at the free throw tonight. Just shot 2 there, but he's made them both.
Second one on its way. That one goes with a little help from the rim. And it's been slim margins for Fort Loramie so far this year, averaging 40.5 points per game scoring, giving up 40 points per game on defense. And it's a close one tonight.
And now got a 2-point lead. Minute 45 left in the ball game.
Bornhorst will back it out to the scores table. A lot of movement away from the ball, but no one's open. As now a screen will be set by Patrick Wells. Bornhorst choosing not to use it, and Hayes will back it out. Cardinals trailing by 2. Minute 20. Ball over to Hayes. Back by the logo now. He'll give it over to Suchlin, and he can't get the 3 ball to go. Rebound down to the Redskins. We'll see what type of pressure the Cardinals go with. Approaching a minute. Brandewie back out by the volleyball stripe. 2-point lead. Now Rosengarten. Cardinals, any foul will send Fort Loramie to the free throw line. Brandewie gets rid of it. And New Bremen just looking for a turnover. And now we've got a foul going against Mitchell Hayes. It will send Rosengarten to the stripe.
Yeah, if you're Coach Francis, you can't like that. If you're going to use that kind of time to have that foul, you know, you could have done that 30 seconds ago versus just throwing a little hip out to bump Eli Rosengarten to send to the free throw line.
1-1, and he gets the first. And now we've got a timeout by the Redskins. 3-point lead for Fort Loramie. 43 seconds remain in the ball game. We'll be back after this.
First National Bank, we are working hard to make your life a little easier. With products like Card Valet, an app allowing you to control your cards with real-time notifications, transaction restrictions, and spending limits. The ability to access your money through 55,000 all-point ATMs across the country, surcharge-free. Live customer support when you need it, and online and mobile banking, allowing you to gain access to your financial information wherever and whenever you like. First National Bank, making your life a little easier.
34-31, Fort Loramie leading New Bremen here at the Nest. Eli Alvarez, Greg Burning with you. Shout out to our guys in the truck as well. Scott Robinson, producer, doing a great job as always. And I tell you what, Greg, this game coming into it, weren't sure what to expect. A new look Cardinals team, a new look Redskins team. And it's provided some action, but it's also been kind of an awkward game. There hasn't really been a flow for either team offensively.
No, a lot of good defense makes that happen. You know, both these teams have provided that here tonight, and Loramie with a chance to go up by 2 possessions here if Rosengarten can knock down this second free throw.
And he can't, but the offensive rebound comes down to Grant Albers, and now they throw it away. Nolan Bornhorst driving. Bornhorst can't get it to go, and Fort Loramie has it. Francis wanted a foul. He's not going to get it. 30 seconds. Brandewie is tied up, and a timeout by Fort Loramie.
Wow.
That has been a crazy 30 seconds there. They'll take a break. We'll stay right here with 28 seconds remaining. And a 3-point Fort Loramie lead. What a golden opportunity for the Cardinals. Missed.
Yeah, just haven't been able to quite get it to finish. You know, they get around a disaster there, if you will, for a minute. Missed the free throw there. Don't get the rebound. Then they steal it. New Bremen does. Take it the other way. Can't get the layup to go. And just haven't quite been able to finish it here or get close to make some plays in the end to get this game even. Now they're going to be in a big hole here. 28 seconds to go. Fort Loramie still with the ball. New Bremen trailing by 3. Going to have to try to get this one back and get a couple buckets quickly.
Yeah, and that's one of the main reasons we brought up the struggle offensively for both teams is because if you go down by 2 possessions, it's going to be hard to fight back into it with this much time remaining. Fort Loramie has to inbound first. The senior, Ratterman, to do so, and he gets it in. Now it's
Well, if you're New Bremen, you should have fouled already. That took way too long. Good pass.
Rosengarten up the floor, and he lays it in for 2. And that one might just do it. Depends on what happens here with Patrick Wells missing. Hayes down with the rebound. 13 seconds, puts it up, no good. Brandewie has it for Fort Loramie, and now he's fouled with 8 seconds remaining and a 5-point lead for the Redskins. And head coach Corey Britton with a fist pump on the sideline. He's pumped up about this one. So Brandewie will go to the free throw line looking for his 15th point of the night. And it rattles in and out.
Yeah, that last possession, a backbreaker for New Bremen. Loramie gets the ball, and you don't have time to wait around for a steal at that point. They should have fouled right away, and it ended up costing them a big layup at the other end as Brandewie knocks down the second free throw.
Bornhorst picks it up at midcourt. Over to Hayes. Going to have to fire a long 3. Rattles in and out. Offensive rebound, Bornhorst at the horn. He gets it to go, but it's not going to matter as Fort Loramie comes into New Bremen and picks up the victory, 37-33. Take a break, come back and wrap this one up from the Nest. You're watching NKTelco Sports.
Minster Dental Care continues to offer advanced dental technology in a state-of-the-art facility. Our professional team offers experience in general dentistry and orthodontics, including services such as CEREC and wireline orthodontics. Board-certified pediatric dentist Dr. Philip Slonkowski ensures our littlest patients have a positive, safe, and a comfortable experience. We are unconditionally committed to excellence in everything we do.
Trust us. NKTelco, a small-town company with a big focus on customer service. We build business the old-fashioned way.
Trust us to be your internet provider.
Trust us to help you find the right cable package for your viewing needs.
Trust us to answer your questions any time of the day.
Trust NKTelco to be on call. Deliver and make sure your service is tailored to meet your needs.
We serve commercial and residential customers to meet their communication needs. Trust us at NKTelco.
Trust us! Back here one final time from New Bremen High School, where the Fort Loramie Redskins advanced to 2-1 on the young season with a 37-33 victory over the New Bremen Cardinals, who now dropped to 2-2 overall. And Greg, defense again. I know we sound like a broken record.
Yeah.
Big part of the game, and that's why it was so low scoring.
I was going to say, if you don't think it was defensively driven, you can look at the stats, number 1, number 2, the final score. But, you know, both these teams, I think, found a little bit more out about themselves. They obviously both could do a little more in their half court. Defensively, they do a fantastic job. Finishing at the bucket both ways, you know. Could have converted some things, but I think that comes with a post presence, right? Like, both teams have some guys that play in the paint and do an okay job, but in Laramie's case, they lost the Siegel boys that just were really strong and powerful in the paint. You lose that, it's a little tougher. You gotta make up for that, you know. And I think they're still trying to find some of those pieces and that identity. On the other side, New Bremen kind of in a lot of the same situation. You know, they had a couple other big players that they had in the paint as well last year. The name Vondahar is one that comes to mind, and just some other bigger post players they had. And they aren't quite as tall this year. And so finishing around the bucket becomes harder because there's a lot of athletes in this area. And when you want to finish in that paint, as the end of the game, it was a great example, shows you. But I don't think either coach can come out of this game disappointed, if that's a good word to use. Yeah, you never want to lose if you're New Bremen, but boy, they both played so hard, really got after it. Obviously, there's some things they can still work on and get through, but defensively wise, fun game to watch. I don't know if I'd say that a lot because I like to see some threes get dropped and some offense get in the game a little more. And I think that's the takeaway for both teams. Defenses are great. Now, what can we do to shore up our offense a little bit more so we can add that to our team and improve as the year goes on?
Yeah, and don't forget Fort Loramie without 2 of their key players to start the season, senior Carter Mesher and senior Nathan Ratterman. So that makes an impact as well. Both those guys, Ratterman stands at 6'4", so there's another big presence that they're missing. But our player of the game did come from the Redskins, and it was because of his performance. 15 points for the junior Nick Brandewie. He's averaging 7.5 per game, and he's a big reason why the Redskins are victorious on the evening.
Yeah, and he did a nice job on all phases of the game. Ran the point, got his team involved, made a couple nice plays at the bucket, knocked down some free throws. Just had a really solid performance, and congratulations to Nick to be player of the game.
So 37-33, Fort Loramie takes it. 2-1 now on the season. A big thanks to all our guys in the truck, Bryce Hamrick and Scott Robinson, and our camera operator, Ian Bolheimer. Color man for the night, Greg Burning. Great working with you, man.
Yeah, you too.
Fun game.
Lots of fun.
For myself, Eli Alvarez, thanks for watching.